Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel, brought to you by Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, available every Friday wherever you get your podcasts. Obviously, we are unboxing Croc Master and Fiona today. Just real quick, I want to throw this up there. The original Croc Master and the, at the time, unnamed Fiona. Cool figures. I loved the weirder G.I. Joe stuff. So Croc Master totally worked for me as a character and a concept. Let's take a look at this guy. The packaging. We love the classified packaging. I've beaten it into the ground. It looks fantastic. It's great now. It's about to undergo a fairly significant change that I, for one, am very excited about. I'll tell you why in a second. But on the side here, we've got some really cool, unique art of the subjects of the package. This one is, a lot of these I would love to have posters of. And if you listen to Audible Interlude, you will hear where you can purchase posters of a lot of the artwork we've seen on the classified boxes. But I like the sort of unique styles for each character. I didn't at first, but now I've grown to appreciate it. In the back of the box, we've got a big, giant, just wow, what an incredible collection of characters we have here. I'm not going to go through everybody because we're far too deep into the line to start doing that. But I would like to note, look at the vehicles here. It's just still weird to me. Now, obviously, the Hiss tank we know is on the way. It's happening. We blew it out of the water. I'll be reviewing that, a little over a year from now, probably. Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to have it. It just remains to be seen as to when exactly we're going to get it. It's supposed to be fall of 2023. For full details, check out Audible Interlude. But anyway, it's still just kind of weird to me that they threw the vehicles on here. Because so far we have, two classified series vehicles. Breaker and the Ram, and Baroness's completely made up coil motorcycle, which I don't have a problem with. But I'll tell you right now, I've gotten to the point where once I need the shelf space, that thing's probably going in a tote. But anyway, new splash panel on the back of the box. Looks cool. I like it. But we're not here for packaging. No. We are here. I just like to open from the bottom for whatever reason. We are here. I actually got to remember that I save, as weird as this is, I have saved all of the G.I. Joe Classified Series packaging. I've got a tote, several totes, that are just Classified Series boxes. And I need to just throw them out. But it was just so exciting to me that there was a whole new era of G.I. Joe. I just found the thought of just tossing the boxes to be kind of difficult. I didn't want to do it. So I have not yet done it. That box is a little too big to go in our normal set aside the box location. Okay, so we've got all the normal ties and things. Although, you know what? I say normal, but for the Joe line, ties like this are actually pretty unusual. For the most part, Hasbro has relied on the molded trays to keep everything in place, which, by the way, you may have heard me talking about it lately. I hate these plastic trays. They warp accessories, they warp figures. I'm glad to see them going. Let's get Fiona tail out of there. I wonder if the body's just going to pop apart too. Fine with that. Oh wow, we've got a few ties in here holding this lady in place. These things are worse than twist ties, and I know I say it every time I deal with them, but it's because I mean it. All right, are we done now? Okay. Let's pop that tail back on. You can see I've just got a nice ball and socket right there, and that tail. Well, we'll look at that in a second because the camera is not going to focus on Fiona as long as Croc Master and her babies are in the background. Now, I don't know. Oh my gosh, the detail on these little guys, or gals, little creatures. Man, I am so excited because obviously we've been waiting a very long time. Well, what feels like a very long time for this set in this wave. And I will, over the course of the week, I will also be reviewing Storm Shadow, Spirit, and the Cobra Officer. And you can see my reviews of the new O-Ring Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper went up last week. So go check that out as well. All right, let's get all of our accessories off to the side for the moment and take a look at the big boy. Look at Croc Master. Big, thick figure. You can see he's got the sheath on his boot is a separately sculpted piece, as is the one on his thigh. So you might have to wiggle those around a little bit to get them in the right place. There we go. It's looking relatively good. And I mean, you can always, if you have too much trouble moving these, pieces like this around, they are a softer plastic. You can always heat them up and move them however you want. But I always like to see if I can just sort of do it right out of the box without any assisted heating or anything. So, Croc Master, obviously a big boy. Let's get a little comparison going on here. I've got my 00 Snake Eyes figure, which is kind of the average for the line, the first figure of the line, and you can see a pretty significant size difference in these guys. 00 Snake Eyes is coming in at just over 6 inches. Croc Master standing a whopping just over 6.5 inches tall. So Croc Master is a big, big boy, as one would want a master of Crocs to be. Not actually wearing Crocs though, which is a relief. Wrong kind of Croc Master. So let's take a look at the portrait on this guy. The red of the eyes looks great. The seams on his mask here, really nice. And if you can see, there's stitching on the top here as though it got bitten, clawed, torn open and was stitched back together. That's a really nice touch that would be very easily overlooked. You can see the ears, just the marks, the pull of the fabric. Everything looks great on this guy. His rebreather apparatus is part of the sculpt. It's not removable or anything, which is fine by me. I don't need it to be. And then he's got the hose going to the back, but rather than just going into some weird shoulder nodule, he's got an actual oxygen tank on his back here, which might be from the 25th anniversary version of the figure. I believe it is. So he's got this great looking croc skin tank top. No, that would be, yeah, it's a tank top because this is not connected. So we have a separate cod piece, and then this is like a tank top. But look at the sculpt and the painted detail on this. Incredibly well done. The way that the scales are like the belly here. I mean, we'll look at Fiona in a second, but I just wanted to do a little comparison there so you could see that the detailing kind of matches across the figures. Which, how brutal is that? Like, hey, I'm wearing your cousin or whatever. The Cobra emblem up on his chest, all sculpt, all fantastic. The paint is applied, perfectly. Articulation-wise, he's standard G.I. Joe classified. He's got all the, all the joints, all the swivels, all the double whatevers. The wrist joint goes that way, side to side rather than up and down. That big giant cuff on his arm is, let's see. That's not going to pop off. Well, maybe. No, not really. It looks like the cuff on his arm is a separate piece, so these are probably the same arms as like Gung Ho or Roadblock or whatever. This is definitely a separate piece. I love this. This is like a, when you're going after the Croc, they bite onto that. Like that's there as a protective thing. It's awesome. So like this is just a tough guy thing. This is protective, and actually, oh, I was wondering if maybe the leash kind of went around there to keep his wrists from getting burned up, but that's not how that leash works. The belt looks fantastic. That weird crocodile eye belt buckle business, that sculpted and painted detail, whatever the heck is going on with all of that. Imagine, like, I mean, this guy, I guess Cobra, kind of like WWE, has a costume department, maybe? So, like, when we first meet Croc Master, maybe he's in jeans. Maybe he basically, oh my gosh, I need to get an extra Luke Harper head to do an unmasked Croc Master. Wow. But the only problem with that, oh, look at that. That is removable. Okay, you guys, I gotta try something real quick. Bear with me. Way more starts and stops in this one than I planned. So let's try a little something here. Don't panic. This AEW figures are designed to work like that. Might have to heat this up before... Nope. Oh, the peg popped out with... Well, you know what? We can still get a little look at what this might look like. Oh, man. The skin tone doesn't match. But I kind of love that. If you don't know, obviously this is Mr. Brody Lee, as he appeared in AEW, but, you know, Luke Harper had some kind of weird crocodile wrestling thing going on at one point in his WWE run. And I kind of love that a little bit. Okay. Sorry, back to business. That was just, it just popped into my head because, as I was saying, I hope I'm not going to have to heat this up to get it back together. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, so as I was saying, imagine when Cobra first recruits Croc Master, you know, he's just in like a dirty wife beater, a dirty A shirt. Wife beater is a horrible term. That's just what I grew up calling that kind of shirt. Dirty white tank top. How about that? And they're like, oh, well, you have skills that Cobra would find useful. So go to our costume department and tell them, I guess it wouldn't be a costume department, though. What would it be called? The costume branch? The costumier? Who makes the Cobra costumes? This is information I would love to have. There we go. Nope. There we don't go. So anyway, he shows up looking like Luke Harper and then goes to Cobra's costume specialist and says, all right, I want black trousers, knee pads, a gator skin tank top, and he draws a little picture of the belt and the codpiece business that he wants. And just like WWE, Cobra's costumer whips it up for him. Is like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. I cannot believe I drew this thing up, told you about it, and now here I am wearing it. Fits perfectly. What an amazing tailor, seamster, whatever you are. Thank you so much for making me feel like me for the first time in my life. Okay, so pro tip, don't take Joe heads off. That was a big giant pain. I had to heat his neck back up. Okay. So anyway, you can see this figure looks incredible. Big giant guy. Love him. He captures the spirit of Croc Master in an incredible way. Just blown away. This felt like a separate piece a little bit, but it's not. Okay. All the details great. The crocodile skin boots. Just what a tremendous 6-inch tribute to that original Croc Master figure. And what a wild choice for Hasbro to make. All right, we still got a whole lot more to go because we got to talk about really the star of the show, Fiona. So we already saw this is a sectional figure. We have a bendy tail that feels pretty nice and sturdy, but is very flexible. Curious to see how this holds up over time. And then we've got Another ball jointed section. I'm just going to leave that together. There's really no reason to take that apart. But you can get, this is actually a soft plastic, so the figure has a nice feel to it. The legs, oh my gosh, look at this. So the ankles are hinged. The legs, oh my gosh, I didn't expect, I mean, I guess I should have. I didn't expect quite this much. After that Timber figure being the greatest animal companion action figure of all time, I should have expected something similar from this crocodile. But man, this is amazing. You can see, hopefully, hinges there, and also on a pegged swivel. Just wow, what a fantastic toy. And then, of course, yes, the mouth opens. Great detail. You've got the tongue, all of the teeth there. Gosh, this is a phenomenal. And this is, let's get a little size comparison here. So you could see how giant Croc Master was. Look at how giant Fiona is. Measuring, let's get a little snout to tail. A foot long. It is a 1 foot long toy crocodile. And the detail on the eyes, the teeth, the mouth, everything. This is a fantastic figure. Absolutely love this thing. This lady, pardon me. We also have some other accessories to take a look at. We have the baby Crocs that aren't just little white, they're actually painted. You can see the albino, the red eyes are painted, and even the little teeth. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but the little teeth are painted white as well. So these aren't just slugs. They actually have the painted detail. And these are not the same tooling. These are two completely different characters. And again, the white teeth, the little yellow eyes, and the belly even. Fantastic. We also have a knife. Nicely detailed. It has sort of the croc skin look on the handle there. We'll put that right in the sheath. Fits perfectly on the leg. We've got a unique pistol. All black, no paint, but that doesn't really bother me. That's fine. Just an interesting revolver. Is it a Nerf gun? I'm not sure. I am not a gun guy. If this is a real gun, which I don't think it is, let me know in the comments. If it's a Nerf gun, let me know in the comments. But I do look at the ridges underneath here. So if he were to whack somebody with this gun, like, this would cause some damage. And of course that pistol goes right into that holster. And he's got this nasty looking hook for handling crocs with. So you gotta get a croc into shape. You just hook them in the mouth there. We've got, let's see, let's go ahead and, I don't know how well his hand is going to move. Looks a little snug. He's got trigger fingers on both hands. Plastic is a little rigid, so this may not happen. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to heat that up. Maybe not. I always recommend heating plastic up before attempting to force it. But if you are doing a video review where you have already wasted a lot of time putting a Brody Lee head on a Croc Master figure and you want to move things along, then just force it. All right. So yeah, this is pretty much the image you see in some of the packaging. Pulling back on that head, getting control of that Croc. And then once you do, well, if you this I don't love. I would prefer this just to be a straight whip. Even if they're not going to give it a soft goods whip portion, I would rather this just be straightened out. I'm not a fan of this business. This is very McFarlane, and I say that in a not complimentary manner. But the sculpt of it looks great. I like the, again, we've got our theme, our Croc skin on the handle. So their heart was in the right place, but this, not a fan. And then finally the collar for Fiona, that my son has already opened up his Croc Master and had apparently a heck of a time figuring out exactly how this thing is supposed to go. So right now, because you'd think it would just slip right over, well, and I guess it does. I think he got a little more involved in it than he had to, and like popped the head off and put it back here, which wasn't really necessary. I think it's just going to fit really snugly, like just behind the jaw there. Because if you look at the original figure, that's kind of where that collar sits. So I think this is kind of just how this goes. Now what I might do, once again, thinking about heating things up, I might heat this up and push it back just a little bit further. But I gotta say, I think this is pretty much where this is supposed to sit. Visually, I think we want it to sit back here, but I don't feel like that would be correct, because if it's back here, you're not controlling the Croc's head as much. It's going to be able to move that head around and maybe get you. So I actually do think a little further forward like this is probably where that's supposed to be. I don't think we've got... Yeah, I'm sure some of the promo pics online kind of show you where this sits, but for my money, I think this is about right. Now, as to whether the spikes go like that, that might actually be correct. And this thing is a softer plastic, like it's going to stretch it and give a little bit so you can wiggle it back. But like I said, I think I'm going to heat it back up, push it back into place where I want it, and that'll be good. So there you go. Croc Master and Fiona, another absolute triumph of the G.I. Joe classified team at Hasbro. I love them. They're must-have. I love everything from the classified series so far, and I recommend this figure. Many of you probably already have it. I doubt anybody was waiting for a review to really determine if you need Croc Master or not, but if you were, there it is. You do need it. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Come back the rest of the week for more G.I. Joe reviews. And remember, Cobra has the best costuming department. Cobra.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.